It was an early 64.
Okay.
Built in August of 1963.
Okay.
And it was used by the Studebaker Corporation when they were doing speed runs out on the Bonneville Salt Flats.
Welcome to another episode of The Story Behind the Car, and we're with Chuck and his 64?
64.
Studebaker, and you were just saying in 63 it was taken out to Utah, so that's why I was making sure it was a 64.
It was an early 64.
Okay.
Built in August of 1963.
Okay.
And it was used by the Studebaker Corporation when they were doing speed runs out on the Bonneville Salt Flats. They shipped this car with another 3 that were the same model and the same color to transfer the press corps from the hotel area in town out to the Salt Flats.
Okay.
And they chose the Bordeaux Red color, so they had a nice contrast with the white salt of the Bonneville Salt Flats.
And what a contrast that must have been. And there's your information and the information on the car. So Chuck, how long have you owned the car?
I bought the car in 1995, and it was in considerably poor condition.
To say the least, I guess.
But I knew it was a special car.
Yes.
And I decided to preserve it. I knew it needed to be preserved.
And I just noticed the roof line. I hadn't noticed that earlier.
Well, there was an option that year. This ridge could be a half vinyl roof.
Okay.
From this point back. This car didn't have that.
Was that called a Landau?
It was called a Landau, yeah.
Yeah. And there's the Studebaker logo. Do you mind if I open the door?
I can open it for you.
So it's almost it's bucket seats, but it almost looks like a bench with its center console like that.
Yep. Everything is back as close to original as I can get it.
Okay. Wow, that instrument cluster is amazing.
Gauges for everything.
Yes. So we have a clock, speedometer.
Tachometer. This one was equipped with a special speedometer. It goes to 160 miles an hour.
Holy cow. How many miles are on it?
Boy, you're asking me something.
Yeah, I can't see the... I can't tell if it's a 5 or a 6.
It's a 6.
64,000? And is that original?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. And it's a 4-speed.
It's a 4-speed. It's a supercharged V8, Studebaker 289 V8 with a Paxton Supercharger.
And the seats look very comfortable.
Yes.
Almost looks like Mercedes-Benz seats.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
It does. Well, they took some styling cues from Mercedes. We get around to the front. The front grille looks like a Mercedes.
Yes.
And the rear pillar is similar to a Thunderbird.
Yeah.
That era.
And also, I think the Fairlane kind of looked similar.
Yes. Yes, it did.
And that's the Hawk, correct?
Hawk emblem.
Yep.
They put a lot of stainless steel and chrome on the cars back then.
Yes. And would these be the original wheels?
No, they're not.
Okay.
I put, it was an option back in the day to have Halibrand wheels.
Yeah.
These are recent manufactured versions.
Yeah, they're beautiful looking. They're unique.
I think they set the car off better.
Yes, they do. I'm going to slide around the back. And this emblem is beautiful as well.
Another Hawk emblem.
Yeah, with the red, white, and blue.
Yep.
And then the exhaust tips are really unique. And like you said, lots of chrome.
Lots of chrome and stainless steel.
Okay, if I open the passenger door. Let me hit my light. And how is it? Very comfortable, I'm assuming, to drive?
Yes. I mean, it's not as cushy as a new car.
No.
But considering it's comfortable.
Yes. And did they come with seatbelts in 64?
Yes.
Really?
Yep. You could get seat belts in the front.
Yeah. Because that was ahead of its time as well. I don't think General Motors came out till maybe 66 or 67.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then shall we look at the engine?
Sure.
Now, okay, it does have, because I was looking at Pete's 61 and it doesn't have a pillar here,
Okay.
which is very unique.
Yes.
So you'll have to do some explaining here.
Okay. This is the air filter intake for a supercharger.
Okay.
A supercharger works with a sealed carburetor, so the air is compressed and then piped through the through the back of the supercharger into the carburetor. So it has a 4-barrel carburetor. It's a Carter, and it increases horsepower by compacting the air and forcing it into the engine.
Yeah.
Now, at the time, this is a Paxton Supercharger. Studebaker owned Paxton,
Oh my, I didn't know that.
and Andy Granatelli, who was a key Paxton, he was the guy that conducted the speed runs in Bonneville.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I've got a very good friend. He named his daughter Paxton after the.
okay. Car has power steering and power brakes.
And so is this the power brakes or?
That's the power brake. It's
Yeah.
called a hydrovac.
Okay.
It takes vacuum from the engine and increases the power to help the car stop.
Just very, very clean. And it's amazing though how much they get in there. It's very
It's compact.
Yeah.
Yes. You couldn't get an air conditioning car and a supercharged car.
Okay.
The space confinement was too
Yeah.
tight.
And there's the grill that you said was,
It's
Kinda like a
inspired by Mercedes.
yes.
Yes.
And what is your favorite feature of the vehicle?
Probably the supercharger.
Yeah,
That makes it special.
yeah. And can you feel it kick in when you,
Well, it's on all the time, but
Okay.
yeah, as you cruise down the road, you can feel it.
yeah,
And if you're out on a night when it's kind of damp, the air is denser,
yes,
you feel it even more so.
yeah. It would have been interesting on the Salt Flats to see what it was like
Yeah.
because it's so dry out there.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's a fun car to drive.
wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing the car and well, I just noticed, what is the R2?
That's the engine designation. That means it's a supercharged 289 Studebaker engine.
Okay, wonderful. And the Hawk badging.
Yes.
Well,
It's actually an Embodies engine. They made R1 engines, R2s, R3s, and R4s.
Okay,
This is the supercharged R2 version.
wonderful. Well, thank you so very much, Chuck.
Thank
It's
you.
a pleasure meeting you, and thank you for sharing your car and the story behind your car.
I appreciate the attention.
Yes, sir.